Hi, this is Dorothy with Scrapbooking, and this is project one of the National Scrapbooking Day Celebration. So I'm going to be doing all 5 projects. It'll take me a little while, but this is the first project I'm going to do. So this is called Circles and Patterns. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and ring the bell so you can get notified. And I hope you enjoy this, and you can shop for these kits at dorothy.closetomyheart.com. They're available until May 31st of 2022. That's where we are right now. So here we go. I am going to be showing you. Okay, so here we go with going. I'm just going to go through the kit and explain a couple of little things. These are the instructions. Now, all the instructions, since this is a special project, you don't get our usual workshop instructions with it. But we have the download guide right under each of the kits, and it just says download guide. And so I went ahead and printed it. Silly me, I was saving paper and printed it 2 pages on one. Well, that makes everything really small, so it was really hard for me to read. I did check off the patterns that I was die cutting as I went along, because there's quite a few to cut out. So you don't want to drive yourself crazy. Go ahead and check them off. And this is here are the embellishments and of course the photo placeholders. And here's a bunch of the die cuts. So this is the die cut that you get with this kit. So you get 2 full circles, 2 half circles, and then quarter circles, and these wonderful shapes here. And those kind of ovals can be used for leaves. That'd be great leaves. Here's the pattern that I stamped the various pieces with. So I used the dot pattern and the stripe pattern. That kind of chevron pattern, I realized after the fact that that was really the one called for one of the stamping things. But my instructions were so small I couldn't tell. But it doesn't really matter. They're all cute patterns and make these fancy little shapes. Now see, this is the die cuts, and you can see that you want to do the dot pattern on some of the lagoon and the white and the glacier. And there's that's the chevron pattern actually. And then on the avocado, you're going to stamp avocado. So it's color on color. And one of them in the center there, that's glacier with glacier ink just kind of smudged around on it. Super simple to do with a little piece of sponge. So I don't show how I went ahead and did the stamping or the cutting of the dies, because I've shown that before, and there were so many that I didn't want to take a whole lot of time to do it. So there's going to be enough to putting the pages together. So I kind of did a dry run here to kind of see what goes where and to kind of give myself an idea of placement of all the different colors. Now that color is sage, the 3x3 or 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. That's actually sage. It looks gray, but it's actually sage. And it is coming down 2.5 inches from the top and 1/2 inch over. And so I'm just using my ruler and getting started. And I'm just going to go ahead and put all of these squares down before I add any of the circles. So I've got to get all these little quarter circles and half circles out of the way. And there's going to be 1/2 inch in between the squares. So, and then I believe another 1/2 inch to the right of the square. So I just want to have my lines be real straight, so that's why I'm using the ruler. You can eyeball it and do just fine. But, you know, sometimes you just want straight. Now I cleaned my ruler there, and you can see I cleaned it so well I took some of the markings off. Oh my gosh. Hey, loony bins here. Okay, I did have a lot of Tombow on it, and I thought, let me get this clean because it's kind of icky looking. Well, it's clean all right. I just cleaned it right away. What can you say? So just as an eyeball, I'm going to go ahead and put the photo placeholders on here so you can see how much of the frame behind it shows up. So it's just like about 1/8 of an inch of frame around your pictures. So once again, you do not have to use these photo placeholders. And if you just want to put a little spot in the middle to kind of remind you what size to cut for the squares, then you can do that too and just remove them as you put your pictures on. So I'm kind of eyeballing these to kind of figure out where they go. And so there's going to be like, maybe 1/8 of an inch in between. Then I've got one of my little quarter circles going. So they're all getting tucked under a square. It's kind of a fun little design with all the circles. So a little different, but I really do like the colors. And I like all the little dots that I printed on there. And then this is, of course, that stripe pattern is just the flip side of the printed. So they're both patterned pieces. And this one is going to go under like that. And I'm going to use the ruler as just a means to get the circles even on the bottom. Because sometimes, you really do kind of want things to be even. So it doesn't, it just adds to the neatness. You really want your pictures to stand out and not look at, oh, good grief, that wasn't put on there evenly, right? So this guy's getting tucked under ×2. Kind of looks like a little sun peeking out there. And then we have another printed piece that's going under. So these really, they end up being very nice. I did cut a lot of the die cuts, and I think I've got extras. I'm not sure why, except that you don't necessarily use all of the half pieces or quarter pieces. But I do have quite a few left over. So that could always be used for something else. You could even use it for cards. So, but I think this ends up being kind of a fun layout. And we're just kind of highlighting the squares. We're not going all the way down the sides of the paper here. Isn't that pretty? I don't know if you'd have anything that has circles in it that you're taking pictures of, but that sure would be perfect. If you were visiting something like fountains, round fountains, or something that was round. Anyway, that would be fun to put on this particular layout. Once again, I'm going to put my ruler up there so that I can kind of get my little circles even. Not to be perfect, just to kind of get in the ballpark. So, once you cut the circles and stamp them, so I made piles of all the colors. And so a lagoon pile, a glacier pile, a lemonade pile, an avocado pile, and then the printed paper. And I put it on a piece of black cardstock, so it was real easy to pick them out. And that just kind of helped me when I was doing the dry run on these. It was real easy to find what I needed on that black background. And then we've got some of the half and quarter circles are going to go in between even. So pretty cool. Look at that. It's a neat, I mean, it's really kind of different. Now that die cut can be used all over the place. Now that stripe pattern is printed with the striped stamp. So that's not a printed piece. It's a stamped piece. So there we go. Ah, I needed a white in there. Who knew? So there's embellishments that go on here. And the other thing that I'm going to do, this is going to say home. And these are really cute little embellishments. These are acrylics. See, I thought that was an E. Silly girl, it's an O. Here we go. It says home. We carry Le Pens, and we have black and gray charcoal jotting pens for doing your journaling and using for making squiggly lines if you want to around your pages. But we also have colored Le Pens. So I used the olive and the teal Le Pens to make my scribble line around the edge of the paper of both layouts. I missed putting one of the pieces down. And I'm just attaching these acrylic pieces with my Tombow liquid. So anyway, I pulled out those two pens and I made kind of intertwining lines. I've done this before. Excuse me, intertwining lines going around the edge, the outside edge of the cardstock. So it kind of gives kind of a little whimsy finish to the page. And I do like those little star-like kind of asterisk type acrylics. So that was page 1. That was the left page. And then here we go. So see, there's that black load of die cuts. Now this one is going to get the circle patterns all on the left-hand side. And we're going to pair up the different pieces. The first thing I'm going to do is make kind of a one piece out of the this picture frame. So the 4x6 is going on the excuse me, sage, and then the striped pattern paper and the glacier paper kind of get placed in a way that they're not parallel. Excuse me. Pardon me, my throat is dry. So we're going to put it on there like that. Then I'm going to lift the whole thing up and put some more Tombow on and put it on the stripe piece. See, like I said, nothing is parallel. And then we've got a big piece there, one piece to put on. Now I'm ripping my cardstock towards me, so you get a shot of the inner core of our cardstock, the bright white inner core of our cardstock. Now I would say I would go ahead and put, this is not what I did, but I would put that strip, that zip strip with the light bulbs on the lagoon piece. I didn't do it that way. I put it on, just on by itself, and then put the lagoon piece butted up next to it. But just saying, I'm just kind of marking where it goes. It kind of looks that all my circles and quarter circles and half circles look like a big mess there, but they're actually kind of close to where they belong and who they belong with. So I made 2 little marks to kind of put my zip strip edge along there, and then I'm just gonna, I ended up butting it up to it, but I would be inclined to put the light bulbs, like I said, on top of that lagoon strip. But doesn't make any difference really. So here we go. So we're going to start in the upper corner there and put a quarter circle. So, and then I'm just going to pair pieces as they go. These actually get about a 1/2 inch in between each of the circle sets. And I didn't do this at first. So it's kind of good to start one at the top and one at the bottom, and then kind of work your way towards the middle so that you have things kind of equidistant. I didn't do that, so I did have to lift up some of the pieces and rearrange them. So like I said, it's about a 1/2 inch that should go in between each of the circle sets. So there's a piece of glacier that I'm putting glue on right now, and there's some smudging of the glacier ink on it. It's kind of hard to see, it's kind of light, but see, now I've got an uneven space here. So I'm going to move that one up. Have to move them all around. So it's about a 1/2 inch that's going to go in between, like I said, the circle sets. But, you know, if you get the Tombow up before it's been sitting there for a long time, it just pulls, it's repositionable at that point. You know, so it's just like the longer it sits there, the tougher it is to pull up, and you're bound to kind of rip something if you do. So I am putting a 1/4 inch in between the next set of circles, the next line of circles. So this is something that kind of looks random, but really if it's not done in some kind of order, it's going to look like a mess. So you just kind of want to do, lost my train of thought. You want to keep them going pretty evenly. So I'm lining up my 1/4 inch along the edge of the furthest part of the circle on the left-hand side. So the first row of circles. So of course then you have these 1/4 circles to make what looks to be like a radiation symbol. Here we go. But it's cute, right? That looks really cute. I like that. See, I think you could have a lot of fun with these circle die cuts, especially since you've got half circles and 1/4 circles to work with. So there's the inks that we used. So there's that kind of smudgy looking glacier circle. And then we've got a dot avocado. So it's kind of fun. I like the way, and look at how you can put the 4 quarters together, or you can put, you know, the half and the 2 quarters together. So it adds for a lot of variety. You can put a lot of different colors there to make it look pretty festive. Then we've got ending with 2 1/4 circles down at the bottom. And then once again, we're going for the 1/4 inch. And I'm just kind of eyeballing to make sure I get it kind of the same distance from each of the circles above it. See, it's really not, I mean, you can use your eye quite a bit. Here's a smudgy glacier. And you can, you know, you can kind of do these the way you want. You don't have to necessarily follow exactly the way I did. But, you know, it's up to you. It's truly up to you and how you want your layout to look. So nobody is going to judge you. That's the nice thing. You can do what you want. If you don't like it, you know, pull it up. Try something else. I mean, you know, that's why it's kind of neat. You can, if you don't like it, do it over. Okay, so that's going to go. See, I should have stuck it on right here, but I think I got sidetracked. and ended up not sticking it down until later on. So here are my pens. Well, now they did say to put a dashed line around, kind of a stitch line around this piece of glacier. So I'm using the black journaling pen to do my dotted stitch line. So just to add just a little something. I'll come back to that. So this is project 2. This is what it's going to look like in the end. And, you know, it does look happy, doesn't it? I mean, look at all those great colors and the wonderful printed paper. You know, it's definitely just kind of a happy look. And you can see I've got my scribble lines around the light linen background piece, and there's lagoon on the outside with maybe about a 1/2 inch border showing all around. And then we've got our great lemonade picture frames there, along with one lagoon picture frame. So, and I like that. I really like that font. It does look happy, for sure. So here we go on project 2. Now, I will say putting this whole thing together actually took me about 1 hour and 10 minutes. Cutting the main pieces only took a few minutes. Cutting and stamping the circles, that probably took me maybe another hour or so. So I would say altogether this project took, you know, maybe 2 to 2.5 hours. So, but you know, a lot of you move way faster than I do. I just really move a lot slower. I am thinking while I'm doing it, trying to figure out, okay, what do I do about this and what is that? But yeah, I kind of move a lot slower than a lot of you. So a lot of you could do this in a lot quicker time. There's that great shape. Is that not a great shape? What shape is that? You can put it down below in the comments, because I don't know what shape to call that. So here we have this. This is actually linen. It's not white, but it's the light linen side that I'm using, putting it on the lighter lagoon side. And it's getting a 1/2 inch all around. And then I've got glacier that is going down the center. And the light, I believe the light, lift it up, Dorothy. What are you doing? You thinking? So the light glacier is going up, and it is going over 1 inch from the right-hand side, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4 3/4 inches up from the bottom, it looks like. Is that right? Or 3 3/4. You see, and that's getting centered. That strip was printed, it was stamped with the dotted pattern. 3 3/4 up from the bottom. My mistake. And that lagoon is going right in there, just maybe a 1/2 inch up from the bottom and a 1/4 inch over from the left. And I'm just going to go ahead and put the picture photo holder there so you can see that there's only about, you know, 1/8 inch or so showing, or a 1/4 inch. Not very much anyway. This is the longer piece of lemonade, and I'm going to go ahead and cut a banner. Cut on the bottom of it. I couldn't find my real scissors. And look, these are so big and klutzy. Totally overshot the runway on that, but it's big clumsy scissors. So this is going to get a 3x4 on it, on this big banner. And it's just going over like maybe a 1/4 inch from the side there. And I was supposed to put my light bulbs up. The light bulb didn't go off. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim it, put some Tombow on it, and quickly tuck it under my lagoon background with just a little bit of the edge of Glacier showing. So not too bad, save that one. This one's going 1/4 of an inch over with a 3x3 going on top. There we go. So you can see what it's supposed to, how big the picture's supposed to be. So here's that great shape. And it's stamped with the stripe, and it sticks out halfway. So it just kind of gives a really, it almost looks like a circus tent on top, really. It's kind of fun. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do my squiggly, wobbly, completely out of control. I'm not even trying to make it look that crooked. That's how bad things are. Okay, so here we go with the olive on the teal. So same colors that I used on the last set. But I do like making this intertwining line. I do like doing that, I have to tell you. Okay, so here I'm going to start putting our circles down. That guy kind of stuck pretty hard. So I'm going to, what does that look like? That looks like a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to come down a 1/2 inch. Looks like a little bit more than that. From the top. And tucking it under. So this is kind of, it's kind of fun. I mean, kind of the same idea on all of yeah, that's not right, Dorothy. What are you doing? So this one is going to go in differently. I'm going to put the top piece up there, and then the quarters are going to go sort of like a radiation sign, right? Great colors. Really great colors. This is stuff I don't really pay attention to while I'm doing it. But while I'm watching this, the color combinations look really, really pretty. And the yellow just works so beautifully with the blues and greens. Right? It's really pretty. Having problems with my Tombow. Sometimes I get a roll that just doesn't want to cooperate very nicely on occasion. But here we go. Lift that up, tuck that under. And then we've got our half circle. So I'm going to be doing another project that is a card making project. That's going to be my next project after this is done. See, and look at this. It's slanted, but showing nice amounts of color. I just love that. I like that they don't just make everything perpendicular. I mean, it is, but it's not straight up and down. So it's a nice change of pace. I'm really having fun with that one. Have to get myself a new one. Here we go. Stripes and dots. And then we've got my liquid Tombow just giving me a hard time, and I think it's because it's running out. You know, you can poke around all you want, but if there's nothing in there, it's not going to come out. Anyway, we'll see if something comes out this time. Nope. Here we go. Finally shook out. Look at that cute little flower. Is that not completely adorable? And the little flower goes up there too. Just so stinking cute. There we go. Just love it. Okay, so we're coming into the home stretch here. There we go. So this is the second page of Project 2. And this is my journaling area going on the glacier background. And we've got a little piece here that is going to get the dovetail, and then another little yellow piece that's going to get a dovetail, and that's going to go under the journaling piece. But I'm going to make one piece out of it first, just to make it easy. So there we go, putting the one on top. Don't you wish I'd just get a brand new one so this stuff would come out easy? I do. Okay, so there's my little flower. And I'm going to get all my circles out of the way. But I want to kind of keep them close to where they belong. So that way, you know, I know that I'm looking for something that's, you know, to the right or to the left. So the first piece that's going to go down is this piece. Yeah, except that really needs to go on first. So I'm putting the Tombow on the darker linen side. Well, those little quarter pieces don't want to cooperate, do they? And I still am working with the 1/2 inch border all around, and I'm going to go ahead and put my scribbling line all around the piece to kind of get it out of the way, because stuff is going all around this piece. So one line down, and the second line is down. There we go. Okay, so this is going to go an inch over from the right-hand side and about an inch down. And then this piece, the reverse side of the stripe, is the namesake paper in full bloom. And that's going to be an inch over from the left. So I'm just going to go ahead and center it and then put it an inch over. So there's an inch border going around. And then we've got this other piece that's going to go kind of betwixt and between. And that was the only color that didn't get any stamping on it, was the yellow. And see, there's a little teeny hint of yellow in the printed page there. Just a little, almost a glow from the light bulbs. But just enough that the yellow looks so good with it. So I'm going to go ahead and those two pieces on the left are directly under each other. And then these are going to be over 1/2 inch. Ta-da! I like the little lens that the camera's peeking through. So, and then all of my little circles and half circles and quarter circles get placed. I could sing to you. Perhaps not. My next project is going to be using the distressed oxides to make cards, and I am going to have a lot of fun with that. I can't wait to start that. Looks like I'm putting about barely 1/4 inch in between the circles. Not much at all. But of course I have to move one. Because that's how she rolls. I realize I got kind of low here. Seems like it happens. This shows you I'm paying more attention to what I'm doing than in front of me rather than watching my iPad to show me where I'm placing the camera. So I do apologize. I do this quite a lot. But it's hard to put something this detailed together and try to watch all the details at the time. I just have trouble with that anymore. And there's a cute little arrow. That's one of the embellishments that goes on the journaling square there. And then this is like this is a half moon, and that gets some little kind of arrowhead acrylic pieces. And see how cute those little pieces are? They're like, could be feathers coming out of there, or flower petals or leaves. So there are those little guys. And then we've got a quarter circle to start off with. You know, I follow the instructions pretty well, but you really don't need to. You can do it as you want. Like I said, the lemonade didn't get any kind of stamping on it for some reason. We did have quite a bit of stamping to do, just saying. You could stamp it if you wanted to, if you wanted a little tone-on-tone color with the yellow, better known as lemonade. Had to do a little bit better with placing the pieces there. See, thank goodness for the Tombow that it doesn't stick immediately, that you can reposition it a little bit. There we go. Get those little arrowhead or chevrons down, whatever you want to call them. So I think this is a really cute piece. Now here we go. Let me go ahead and put the title up here. What a great font, huh? It's just too cute. And it does. It's amazing how powerful that lemon yellow is with the other colors. And then I missed putting a half circle there. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and stick the letters down here, the happy letters. Isn't that a cute A? I wish I knew if that font had a name I'd like to use that when I need a printed font. So here's our happy page. And put a little arrow here. Another little flower. So there we go for page 2. So this is the Circles and Patterns kit from the National Scrapbooking Day Celebration. And you can actually get the bundle of 5 kits, and you get 30% off if you get the bundle of kits and do all of them. So that's a pretty darn good deal, which is what I got. I went ahead and got all 5 of the kits. I thought, well, you know, when some little kid has a birthday, I'll give him the little penguin album. But there's our second page. Is that not like just so cute? I'm real happy with both of these pages. And whoops, see, I forgot to put that one down. So I'll tumbo it in place. And it's just it's got all sorts of space there that it can take up. And to tell you the truth, you can actually add another piece on the right-hand side there to make a spot for journaling. Or you could just make some lines and write directly on that light linen area. So here's our 2 projects, Project 1 and Project 2. And I hope you like them, and I hope that you've subscribed to my channel. Please make sure that you leave me a comment. That's what I was trying to say. So apparently I didn't put this on the first project before I showed the picture of it. So I'm just adding this little squiggly line around this part of the page and around the first page, and just to finish it off. I mean, it just sometimes if you think something looks just a little flat, then you can add this little line to it, and it just kind of gives a finish. It gives a little thing for the eye to settle on, and say, okay, there we go. Yeah, it's just I don't like a flat look, and so this just kind of completes a bit of a look. So hope you don't mind. Thanks for watching. Take care now. Bye. Hi, I'm Dorothy Smith. Thanks for watching my video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel and learn along with me. Thanks. Bye-bye.